morning. Welcome to another Wesley Wednesday with Pastor Dave. H. Newton Maloney's book, The Amazing John Wesley, An Unusual Look at the Uncommon Life, has given me some new insights into the life of John Wesley as evident by last week's focus on Jane Cooper. His chapter on John Wesley the Perfectionist is quite insightful. Wesley's emphasis on Christian perfection is based on Scripture. We're to be holy as the Lord our God is holy, and Jesus' commandment to love God with all our hearts and to love our neighbor as ourselves. For Wesley, to be sanctified was to be renewed in the image of God and would lead to holy living, holiness of heart and life, as he would say. This implies that all inward sin is taken away. Maloney's quote from Wesley's letter to describe Jane Cooper as an example of one being made perfect in love is an example of this perfection. And that was the focus of my devotion on January the 26th. If you didn't hear that one, you might want to go back and take a listen. Now, what I found interesting is his next chapter, John Wesley, the Organizer. Here he explains that from the days of the Holy Club at Oxford to the formation of the societies, classes, and bands, Wesley was methodically organizing the people called Methodists toward Christian living, holiness of heart and life. The societies and small groups helped them to be accountable to these principles. The societies had an open admission policy for those who had a desire to flee from the wrath of God to come and to be saved from their sins. In order to control backsliders or those not sincere in their commitment, members were reevaluated every 3 months. 33 articles defined the organizational model and the expectations of each society. And at each class meeting, every member was expected to report on their spiritual condition and their walk of faith. It is noted that Wesley did not care as much about numbers, that is, how many Methodists there were, but holiness, rather than how many were committed to Christian living or doing the right thing before God. To that end, he had no issue expelling members from the societies. Listen to this report from Newcastle Society, where 64 people were expelled and the reasons that were given. 2 for cursing and swearing, 2 for habitual Sabbath breaking, 17 for drunkenness, 2 for selling spiritual liquors, 3 for quarreling and brawling, 1 for wife beating, 3 for habitual willful lying, 4 for railing and evil speaking, 1 for idleness and laziness, and 29 for lightness and carelessness. Can you imagine Wesley coming into a local United Methodist congregation and expelling people because of such habits as these? Now, in spite of these high expectations, or perhaps because of them, the movement grew beyond anyone's imagination. The United Society in London grew to over 900 members in 3 short years, and new societies were formed throughout the UK and later would spread to America. Methodism would become one of the largest Protestant denominations in the world. It appears people wanted a sincere relationship with God, and in Jesus they felt their sin forgiven. Living in Christian community would hold them accountable to maintaining their walk of faith. Perhaps these are lessons the church needs to relearn and reorganize for in the days ahead. Thanks for listening. Have a blessed day, and I'll return next Wednesday.